All right, are Idaho kids being exposed to sexual performances at public events? The promoters of a new bill seem to think so. House Bill 230 would prohibit, quote, indecent sexual exhibitions in public places where minors might be present. An idea that might sound familiar to you because the same bill sponsors attempted to pass this back in 2023. Well, they're going for it again. Here's Aspen Shumpert.
No parent wants to be walking along the street, visiting their local public park, and stumble upon one of these types of performances. And that has happened.
House Bill 230 aims to prohibit certain performances considered sexual in public places where minors may be present.
So back in 2022, we were seeing a bunch of drag shows and other sexual exhibitions taking place across the state of Idaho.
The nonprofit Christian ministry Idaho Family Policy Center points to a few pride events across Idaho when explaining the need for this legislation that requires hosts, event organizers, and performers to restrict children's access to sexual exhibitions. And anyone found to violate the law could be sued in civil court by the minor or their guardian.
Whether that's indecent drag performances, whether that's indecent, strip teases, or indecent pole dancing or burlesque. Those types of indecent performances would not be allowed over daytime television broadcast. And so all we're doing is applying that same standard to public parks and other places where kids might be present.
Local Pride Festival organizers see the bill's intent differently.
This bill is just a true act of intimidation against LGBTQ folks that we've seen time and time again by folks who really have very limited understanding of what it is like to be a part of the LGBTQ community.
It's a blatant attack on this community. We know that. You'd have to be blind to not see that.
Kanzati argues both Canyon County Pride and Boise Pride have allowed minors access to shows that engage in sexual conduct, which is defined in the bill as simulated or actual sexual activity, sexual explicit depictions, or provocative dances using accessories that exaggerate sexual characteristics.
We don't let kids around strip clubs, we don't let kids around adult movie stores, and we shouldn't allow sexual exhibitions to take place in public parks where kids might be present.
Wheeler with Canyon County Pride disputes Kanzati's characterization of their festival as inappropriate for families.
Are we doing strip teases at this event? We are not. Again, I think there's such a misconception by folks who've never attended such joyful family event called Pride that think we're doing all of these inherently sexual things that we're not. If you've ever taken your family to Disneyland and seen various characters running around Disneyland, you've seen drag. And last year, for example, we had Dora and SpongeBob perform a very family-friendly performance.
Boise Pride Executive Director Williamson says these accusations are coming from people who've never attended Pride events.
Something being sexualized is an individual problem, I can sit here with 10 other people and look at a piece of art. 4 or 5 of them might find it a very sexualized piece, and the other 6 of us looking like, what the hell are you talking about? What's offensive to one is not necessarily offensive to everybody else. So we should stay away from trying to write policies that legislate people off of personal religious beliefs that are meant to govern everybody in the state.
Bill sponsors argue that this legislation uses the same indecency standard utilized by the federal government to determine whether content is appropriate for daytime television. And Pride organizers say nothing is happening at their events that you wouldn't see on Prime TV. Now, again, Brian, we have seen a similar bill come into the legislature in 2023, and it died in the Senate. So this bill in 2025 just passed the House and making its way to the Senate. So we'll see if it gets any further this time around.
All right, I have a comment and a question for Blaine Kanzati. First of all, have you seen daytime television anytime soon? Because we've seen it. It's in our newsroom every once in a while, and it gets pretty risque,
yeah.
I might say that. So I don't know what that parameter is. Secondly, the summer of 2022 we referred to, there was a performer up in Coeur d'Alene that was accused of exposing themselves. But that was proven to be false. It was all fabricated, and then winning a $1.1 million lawsuit because of it. So I don't know that anybody just stumbles across a burlesque performance in a park these days. It's really hard to find. All right. Thank you very much, Aspen.